All right, so get this. We're doing a deep dive today
Oh, yeah.
into power dynamics, strategic thinking, with a concept that might sound a little weird at first. Despise the free lunch.
Yeah, interesting.
But we're not talking about skipping meals or anything.
Yeah.
It's more about like those offers that seem free,
Okay,
but actually have strings attached.
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, and our source material for this deep dive is an excerpt from a script about the 48 laws of power, specifically Law 40, which is all about recognizing those hidden strings
Okay,
to gain power.
makes sense.
So we'll be looking at this concept from different angles, you know, like how it plays out in history and in modern life, and
Just
got some fascinating examples lined up,
Okay, I'm all ears.
like Andrew Carnegie and his philanthropy,
Oh, wow.
no Trojan horse thing.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Exactly.
This
So
should be good.
it should be good.
Yeah.
So what's really interesting to me about this law is that it kind of points out this underlying unspoken exchange that happens, like
Right.
between people. You know what I mean?
Totally. There's always something going on beneath the surface.
Yeah, exactly. And if you can understand that exchange and what's really being offered
Yeah.
and what's expected in return,
Right.
that's how you can really
It's key.
navigate those power dynamics.
Absolutely.
Effectively so.
For sure.
I'm already hooked, especially on that
Yeah.
unspoken exchange part.
Uh-huh.
It's fascinating. So let's break this down a little bit.
Okay.
What exactly does despise the free lunch mean,
Right.
practically speaking?
Like, how do we actually apply it?
Yeah, because it kind of sounds like we should be suspicious of
Yeah.
every nice thing someone does for us.
I see what you mean.
Which seems a little cynical.
It does sound a bit cynical on the surface,
Right.
but it's not about being cynical, really.
Okay.
It's more about being discerning.
I like that.
Yeah. So the law isn't saying to just reject every offer or gift
Right.
that comes your way. It's more about looking past that initial free appeal and thinking about what the cost might be.
The hidden cost.
Exactly. And those costs, they might not be obvious right away.
Right. Like, what could they be?
Well, it could be financial, like you have to spend money later.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe you have to give up your time. Or even compromise your values.
That's a big one.
It is. And sometimes it can even subtly change the power dynamic in a relationship.
So it's about being aware of those trade-offs?
Yes.
And making conscious choices.
Exactly.
Instead of just like blindly accepting things.
Right.
That seem too good to be true.
Precisely.
Because let's face it, sometimes they are too good to be true.
Often they are.
Okay. I'm starting to get the bigger picture here.
Good.
So it's recognizing that every interaction, every exchange has these deeper implications that go beyond just what's on the surface.
It's about those deeper levels.
But can you give me an example of like how this hidden cost might actually show up in real life?
Of course. Let's take Andrew Carnegie.
Okay.
The steel tycoon who became a philanthropist.
Right. Everyone knows Carnegie.
Yeah. He's famous for giving tons of money to libraries, universities, public institutions.
He's like a good guy.
Yeah. On the surface, it looks like pure altruism.
Right. A classic case of giving back.
Totally. But if we look a little closer, we can see how Carnegie was actually using his philanthropy strategically to shape public opinion and gain influence.
Really?
Yeah, he wasn't just building libraries, he was shaping the information landscape. Yeah.
So he was promoting certain ideas.
Exactly, and even influencing the education system.
That people relied on.
Right.
That's pretty powerful when you think about it.
It is.
So by accepting his gifts, people were also kind of unknowingly accepting his worldview.
And letting him control the narrative.
That's a little unsettling.
It can be if you think about it too much.
It does make you wonder.
Yeah.
About the motivations behind these seemingly altruistic acts.
It definitely highlights the importance of understanding the context. Potential motives behind any free offer.
It's not about assuming everyone's got bad intentions.
No, not at all.
But it's about asking yourself,
exactly,
what does this person stand to gain from me accepting this?
Precisely.
Now I'm really starting to see the wisdom in despising the free lunch. It's not about like rejecting generosity outright.
It's more about...
But it's about being smart about it.
Yes. Being a savvy consumer.
Right.
It favors gifts.
Offers all of that.
All of it.
It's recognizing that even the nicest gestures can have
Right.
unforeseen consequences.
They can.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've talked about Andrew Carnegie and his philanthropy, but let's bring this idea into the modern world a bit.
Sure.
The source material mentions venture capital as an example. So how does Despise the free lunch apply to, like, startups and investments?
Well, it's incredibly relevant in that world.
Okay.
Imagine you're an entrepreneur. You've got this groundbreaking idea,
Yeah.
but you need money to get it going.
Classic startup story.
Right. And suddenly you've got all these investors
Okay.
lining up, eager to give you money.
That's the dream.
It feels like a dream come true, a
Right.
free lunch that'll fuel your vision.
Exactly.
But here's where the law comes in.
Okay.
That venture capital, even though it's valuable, often comes with conditions that can impact your control over your company.
So there are strings attached.
They might want board seats.
I see.
Or influence over big decisions. Or even a large chunk of equity, which basically dilutes your ownership and control.
So it's like a trade-off.
It is.
You get the money, but you might have to give up part of your vision or your autonomy.
Exactly.
And that's where despising the free lunch becomes super important for entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. It's about understanding the terms of the exchange, recognizing the potential costs, and making a conscious decision about how much control you're willing to give up.
To get that funding.
Yes. Some entrepreneurs are comfortable with that.
Yeah.
But others, like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, they're very protective of their autonomy.
Makes sense.
They structure deals so they keep a lot of control.
Even when they're accepting outside investment.
Exactly.
They're playing a different game.
Yeah, they are.
Where they understand the value of staying independent.
Long term.
Yeah. And they're willing to walk away from those big offers.
They have to.
To protect that.
Yeah.
That's a powerful lesson, especially in a world where...
I know, it's easy to get caught up.
It's easy to get caught up in the hype.
Right.
And the allure of all that free money.
Absolutely. It seems like this principle encourages a healthy dose of skepticism, like questioning the motives and the strings attached
to any offer.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
It's about being informed.
Yeah.
And making choices that are right for you.
Choices that align with your long-term goals.
And your values.
This is so interesting.
It's a fascinating concept.
We've gone from Andrew Carnegie to entrepreneurs to venture capital.
And it all comes back to despising the free lunch.
It's making me rethink how I approach not just money stuff, but all sorts of situations where there's that potential for an unspoken exchange.
It's everywhere.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that's the point, isn't it?
It is. This law is encouraging us to be more aware, more discerning, and ultimately...
You're empowered.
Yes, exactly.
In our interaction.
In all your interactions.
Wow. Okay, this is giving me a lot to think about.
Good.
This has been really eye-opening.
I'm glad.
I'm excited to keep exploring this idea of despising the free lunch.
Me too.
You know, it's funny how this idea of free lunches having hidden costs.
Yeah.
It seems so obvious when we're talking about big things, you know, venture capital or philanthropy. But in our everyday lives, it's easy to forget about.
It is. It's those little things that sneak up on you.
Those free apps we download.
Oh, yeah.
Or those loyalty programs we sign up for. Even just favors we do for friends and family.
Right.
It feels like this law applies to so many things.
It does. It's not just about...
It's everywhere.
Those big business deals or historical events.
Right.
It's about recognizing that exchange that happens in almost every human interaction.
Wow. Okay, so even in casual situations.
Yeah, even then.
There could be this unspoken expectation of giving something back.
It's like an obligation that can shift the power dynamic.
Yeah. Okay, that's making me rethink a few things.
I bet.
But before I go down that rabbit hole,
I
want to hear more about this historical example.
Sure.
The Trojan horse.
Ah, yes. A classic cautionary tale.
So how does that connect to despise the free lunch?
It's a perfect illustration of how a gift that seems free can actually be a trap.
A dangerous one.
Very dangerous, the Trojans. They were exhausted after that long siege.
Yeah, they'd been fighting forever.
Right, and then they were given what seemed like a victory offering.
What was it?
This massive wooden horse.
The Trojan horse.
Yeah, left behind by the Greeks.
So they thought they won.
They did. They saw it as a symbol of their triumph.
And they brought it inside their city?
They did. They welcomed it.
Wow.
They thought they were getting a free trophy?
A symbol of their power.
Exactly, but they totally missed
What?
the hidden cost.
Oh, man. This is intense.
It is. They didn't see the true nature of this gift.
And what was it?
The horse was full of Greek soldiers.
Oh, no.
Waiting to attack.
They fell right into the trap.
They did, by accepting that free lunch.
Yeah.
Without questioning it.
Without being suspicious at all.
They sealed their own fate.
That is a serious hidden cost.
It is.
It's a reminder that things aren't always what they seem.
Right. Appearances can be deceiving.
And that tempting offers can have bad intentions behind them.
Absolutely. The Trojan horse is a warning.
Okay.
To be careful about those free offers.
So always question your assumptions.
Yes, and dig a little deeper.
Look for those ulterior motives.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got Carnegie, we've got the Greeks.
Right.
It seems like there's always a power dynamic.
There often is.
At play with these free lunches.
It's about control.
But does that mean every generous act?
That's a good question.
Is hiding some evil plan?
Not necessarily.
Okay, good, because
it's not about being cynical.
Right.
It's about being strategic.
Okay, so how can we be discerning without being paranoid?
That's the key. It's about strategic generosity.
Strategic generosity.
Yeah. The law doesn't say to be a miser or reject everything.
Right.
It encourages you to be a more conscious giver.
So a strategic giver.
Exactly.
I like that. How do we do that?
Well, think about the Medici family.
The Medicis.
Yeah, back in Renaissance Italy.
Okay.
They were super wealthy and powerful.
They were.
But they didn't just hoard their wealth.
Okay.
They used it strategically.
How?
They supported artists, thinkers, scientists.
Interesting.
All those influential people.
They were patrons of the arts.
They were, but it wasn't just about charity.
Okay.
It was about building relationships,
I see.
Shaping the culture, and increasing their own power.
So they were investing in people and ideas that would ultimately benefit them.
Right.
That's smart.
It's a very effective way to wield power.
And the key difference here is that their giving was about empowerment.
Yes.
Not desperation.
They didn't need something from these people.
They were giving from a position of strength. They were playing the long game.
They were.
Realizing that real power doesn't come from just having things.
It's not about possessions.
But from building relationships.
And supporting the right people.
People who share your vision.
Yes.
That's a whole different way of thinking about it.
It shifts the perspective.
So it's about aligning your giving with your values and goals.
Precisely. You're not giving handouts.
Okay.
You're investing.
You're investing in relationships.
In ideas, in initiatives that matter to you.
That contribute to a bigger vision.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm starting to get it.
Good.
But how do we know if we're being strategically generous?
Right.
Or if we're just falling for a free lunch?
That's a great question. It's a subtle difference.
Yeah, it seems like a fine line.
It is with strategic generosity.
Okay.
You're the one setting the terms. You're giving because you understand your goals.
Yeah.
And the potential benefits and risks.
Not because you need something.
It's about giving from strength.
Okay, so you're being proactive and intentional.
Yes.
Not just reacting to every request.
Exactly. You choose your battles.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But are there ever times when it's okay to accept a free lunch?
Sure.
Even if we know the risks?
Sometimes a free slice of pizza.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a free slice of pizza.
But yeah, good to know. So it's not about having strict rules or rejecting every offer.
It's about being flexible and discerning.
So we have to weigh the benefits and the risks.
Yeah.
And make a decision.
Based on the situation.
It's a judgment call.
It is. And that's where the skill comes in.
Okay.
Being able to assess each situation.
Understand the motives.
And make a calculated decision.
It's like being aware of the game.
Yes.
And deciding if you want to play.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's not about being paranoid.
No.
But about being aware.
Of the dynamic.
Of those exchanges that happen.
Yeah, every interaction.
Yeah, both online and offline.
Right, everywhere.
And that awareness helps us navigate those power dynamics.
Yeah.
With more confidence.
More intention.
So we can make choices.
That are right for you.
Choices that align with our values and goals.
Precisely.
Instead of just reacting to what other people want.
Exactly.
This is all so insightful.
I'm glad you're finding it helpful.
I am. But it makes me think about the Trojan horse example. and how relevant it is today.
Oh, yeah, especially in the digital world.
It feels like there are Trojan horses everywhere online.
There are a lot of them.
Right. So many free services and platforms. The whole new set of challenges.
And opportunities.
Yeah, but it all comes back to despise the free lunch.
It does. That awareness is key.
Okay, so let's talk about those digital Trojan horses.
Let's do it.
Especially social media.
Okay.
We get so much from it.
We do.
Connections, entertainment information.
All for free.
But what are we really giving up?
That's the big question.
Where are those digital Trojan horses hiding?
It all comes back to awareness.
Okay.
And making informed choices.
So we can control our digital lives.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm ready to dive in.
Let's go.
Okay, so digital Trojan horses.
Right, like I was saying, those social media platforms.
Yeah.
They give us a lot.
They really do.
Connection, entertainment, you can speak your mind. All seemingly for free.
Right. Free.
But that's where the Trojan horse comes in.
Okay, because we're not paying with money.
Right? Not directly.
So what are we paying with?
Our data. Like, share, comment.
Wow.
Even just what we look at.
All of it.
All of it gets collected, analyzed, packaged.
To create what?
These really detailed profiles.
Of us.
Yeah, of who we are, what influences us.
It's kind of scary when you think about it.
It is a little bit.
And then that data becomes the product.
Exactly, companies use it.
To target us with ads.
Yep, and to shape our whole online experience.
So it's like they're trying to predict our behavior.
They are, and influence it.
It's a subtle form of influence.
Very subtle. We think we're making our own choices.
Yes, scrolling through our feed.
But those algorithms, they're designed to keep us hooked.
By showing us what?
Things that reinforce our beliefs.
Okay.
Or play on our emotions.
So we're basically in an echo chamber.
It's like a carefully curated echo chamber.
Yeah, where we only see what they want us to see.
And it creates these filter bubbles. Where we don't see different viewpoints.
And that can lead to
a more polarized online world.
Polarization is a big problem.
It is, and it has real-world consequences. It affects what we buy, who we vote for.
Wow. So by accepting the free lunch of social media,
we're giving up control
over our information,
or
attention, our decisions.
It's something to think about.
It is. It's a lot to process.
But despise the free lunch isn't about abandoning social media altogether.
Right. We can't just disconnect.
No, it's about being aware of the trade-offs.
But being more mindful.
Exactly.
But how do we do that practically?
We'll start by adjusting your privacy settings.
Okay.
Limit what you share. Be picky about what you consume.
So be more intentional.
Yes, and try to diversify your information sources.
So get out of that echo chamber.
Break out of those filter bubbles.
And seek out different perspectives.
Challenge your own beliefs.
It's about taking back control.
It is. Remember, you have a choice.
In how we shape our digital experience.
They always have a choice.
Exactly. Okay, so despise the free lunch.
It's not just about being suspicious.
It's about being smarter.
More strategic in all our interactions.
Both online and offline.
Everywhere.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
It has been fascinating.
I'm looking at free lunches in a whole new way.
I'm glad to hear that.
So as we wrap up,
is
there like one question our listeners can take away?
Here's one before you accept any offer. Whether it's a business deal or a social media invite, even a free sample at the store.
Okay.
Ask yourself, what's the true cost and am I willing to pay it?
That's a great question.
It makes you think.
It does. You have to look beyond that initial
free appeal.
And really consider those consequences.
Both the obvious and the hidden ones.
It's about being aware.
And making conscious choices.
So we can navigate those power dynamics.
Yes. Make informed decisions.
And shape our own destinies.
Exactly. The power to choose is always yours.
Powerful stuff. So choose wisely, everyone.
Wise words.
This has been an amazing conversation.
Thank you.
I've learned so much about Despise the Free Lunch.
It's been my pleasure.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive.
Okay.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time for another.
See you then.
Fascinating exploration of the forces that shape our world.
Looking forward to it.
Until then, stay curious, stay informed.
Absolutely.
And keep questioning those free lunches.
Don't forget, that come your way.
You got it.